Hello, Adam.
Mm,
Um, So my intention to make this video, this interview is to share my work with you or to share your work.
mm. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, we've done a lot of work together over the years. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, this is just a story that you need many times to meet Adam to, how to say, to shift your experience. No, this is not true. This is just a story because uh, so what is important is intention, something to happen and to trust. In my case, Adam. So what is the shift? What is happening? In our session, Adam guides me just to drop in myself, but not to drop as a stone in the ocean, but ah, as an energy, as a pure pleasure.
Mm, mm, mm,
And what is important for me during the session, yeah, there is pure, let's say, joy of joy of existence and nothing
mhm.
else. With nothing else, hmm, maybe nothing else is not the right because there are a lot of things are coming like desires are more than welcome
Mhm.
and enjoyment of desires. Ah, that all parts that I try so many years to deal or what to do with them. Suddenly they are, I see them as absolutely pleasurable
Mhm.
energies and waves or parts or and it's so beautiful to include them in the game of desires.
Mhm. Yeah, because I mean, once we take away the story that we shouldn't feel these things, or we want to feel this rather than that. It's like once we take away those stories and we allow our experience to actually be here, to be felt, it just becomes clear that it's all life energy. It's here for our enjoyment, for our pleasure. Like even energies like fear, like it's like the stuff that we go on roller coasters to experience or watch a horror movie to experience. It's like we actually like it feels good in the body when we just allow it. Or grief, like sobbing, like just like allowing the heart to open completely. It's like it's so erotic. The way it moves through the body, the sobs. I mean, it's so like somatically, it's so similar to orgasm. Like what the body does with orgasm. We really allow that energy to move through. And all the energies are like that.
Yeah, and to discover this is wow. Uh,
Yeah, it's here for our enjoyment, for our pleasure. It's here to light us up.
yeah, and also how this, let's say, help in. everyday life when we move here and there, working, chatting, shopping. Yeah, usually it's something like contraction, and yeah, I am this in this contraction inside or something like this, and separate from the rest. But now is this contraction is just, I can't say that this disappear, but it cannot be noticed as limitation or boundary. Just pure enjoyment to meet others, to do things, to yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, so beautiful. Yeah. It's like not we don't have to defend against our experience. We can allow ourselves to feel it all, whatever it is, to allow ourselves just to be in the experience.
Mm. Yes, but you beautifully point me about the problems, and you said, yeah, we can invent problems anytime.
Right.
So, so maybe this is one of the important shifts for me, just to, okay, we can put our attention with what really is going on here, the pure pleasure of existence, of what is happening,
Mhm.
or to put attention to troublemaker, to yeah, to invent problems.
Yeah.
And yeah, and now this is not important because yeah, they are much more real and enjoyable things.
Hmm. Yeah. And also when we're connected to our desire, it's like the movement can come from that inspired place. Like we're curious, we're alive, we're available when we're in our desire. When we're operating from problems, it's so much about avoid. How do I get rid of that? How do I get rid of this? And it's like we're in that like trying to avoid. and and we can be in that forever, because we can just constantly like, oh my God, what if that happened? Oh my God, what if that, and we're just constantly moving through life like in that avoidant, contracted, like managing this, trying to avoid that, rather
Mhm.
than like actually being connected to our desire and like, oh yeah, I'm here for this. I want to be here. I'm curious what happens here, what must unfold here.
Yes, and this is also, uh, yeah, let's say improve creativity because this wonder, instead of how you beautifully said, to uh, to protect from this and that, then it's like curious from this and that, how this may happen, what this and ah, so
Mm-hmm.
mm.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the most important that this is my work with you. I, this is, let's call it shift of perception or just or understanding not through mind, but really to experience myself in different way, reality in different way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's so much from, yeah, like how we're with our experience. It's like, so it's that's where reality, like our experience of life, can just transform so profoundly. And so often when we're operating, like, we're taught to put all our attention out there and imagine that if we just like change the stuff out there, then life will get better. But it's like it's so much about like how we experience, like how we relate to the feelings that come up in our bodies. So much about that.
Yeah, and I want to go deeper in this, much more about that now when I work with myself, and I see that this part of this is not okay, but part of errors. This, yeah, instead of part of problems, this part of errors is, yeah, really can change and start changing how we accept ourselves, our role in life, our. And from time to time, I see that everything is made up. Everything is
Hmm.
just like a habits, belief. Yeah. And,
Totally.
and this way have power to absolutely to transform us in all kinds of roles and whatever
Hmm.
lead us with. Yeah.
Yeah, so often we take what we're perceiving like like reality, uh um like as the truth of reality, but like actually what's happening is we're projecting onto reality. We're constantly projecting, like creating meaning, creating imagining the world. And like how we imagine the world has enormous consequences for like our capacity for enjoyment. Like, so if we're imagining that the world is a scary place and you've got to avoid this and avoid, like, and you must become that, and why can't I become, it's just we live in a nightmare. It's like we can just totally live in a nightmare. And the invitation is to actually like to like play, like to have the exploration here, to be in our desire, in our pleasure. Like this is a vast playground.
Mm.
And there's nothing we need to do. There's no, I mean, it's not like there's a goal we have to get to.
Mm. Okay, but I enjoy my goal to to transform myself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's that, and I mean to see that these games are optional and we get to play them and we get to totally give ourselves to them 100%. We like to get to be in that experience, in that play. Totally. Yeah, this yeah, why not? I mean, this is like why we have bodies, why we're embodied, why we have these particular experiences. It's like to be here for this.
Yeah, and to experiment. Well, yeah, and the the beauty is that, yeah, we share this, but we are not driven by fear projection to transform ourselves in something small, locked in the basement, and yeah. But this is opposite to transform ourselves in different. Ah, yeah, this is how to explain. This is like, oh, the transformation is so real and so inviting
Mm,
and wanting to. Ah.
mhm, mhm. Yeah.
For example, I had a part in me that is scared and as if it's heavy and take me on the bed, just staying there. I don't know why, like protection or. Yeah.
Mhm,
And now this is so beautiful to include this part in the game, in the movement, in life.
mhm.
And
Yeah, totally.
and to see that there is nothing scary, no energies, no part in us that that we should protect ourselves or to protect these parts from the life or our expression or all this is totally nonsense.
Yeah, and we get to explore those parts, right? Like to feel the energy of them, like giving them permission. Like they all have juice in them, like life energy in them, eros in them.
What I saw is, yeah, that the space is absolutely safe.
Mhm.
And scared part of, okay, we can call it scared or contracted, but this doesn't mean that there is real something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so helpful to see that, right? Like to see like, oh yeah, there's actually no imminent threat. Like I'm not like running from a tiger right now. Even though there may be that fear in the body, we're like, and we're like, what if? Like creating problems, creating like projecting threats. And it's so good to come back to the body and be like, actually, there's no threat here. There's no threat here. We get to shake, we get to feel that energy. It's safe to feel that energy. Safe to feel the terror in the body. And it actually feels good when we like feel the terror. We feel that like it's like exciting, like it's like alive, it's vital, it's erotic.
Yeah, and we're driven by desire. So our intention is to desire, and even, yeah, whatever is happening in the body is it's okay. It's part of that desire can hold this and to move us to that direction. Or how you point me, okay, play with this part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, we get to enjoy it all. There's nothing wrong with it.
And then surprise is happening. To play with this part, oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is like to realize that this part is accepted here,
Yeah.
and bring juiciness to others, to the space, to the what is happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's more than acceptance, right? Because it's actually enjoyment. Like we can actually feel the pleasure in it. It's like, oh, I get to feel terror. Wow. I get to feel heartbreak, like we really like we can really say yes to these experiences, like get like and enjoy them. We can actually feel the pleasure in them, the eros in them, the aliveness, the vitality. It's like more than just like it's okay to feel this or like I'll accept, okay, I'll accept you being the it's like no, like this is good. This is life happening. We get to feel this, get to enjoy this.
Uh, I I imagine my desire is more people to experience this. This is
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
see, to experience, to see with what really is going on.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, I mean, it can sound when we're talking about it like it's intellectual or something, but it's like it's even if you like to get the intellectual piece, like to see conceptually what's there is helpful, but it's like it's the direct experience in the body that is the transformation. Like that's what's really like, oh wow, like when we move from I want nothing to do with this part of me. I don't know what to do. It's terrible. It's here. How do I fix it? When we move from that relationship with ourselves to like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Wow, so alive, so erotic. Wow. It's like it's to have that experience, to have that shift in our relationship with our experiences, especially the shadowy experiences, especially the ones that we pushed away and rejected, is just so transformative. It just totally changes our experience of life. So radical.
Yeah, because you mentioned to understand conceptually what is going on. So we can explain that one is first, let's say, advice is accept. Okay, accept it. This is what is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but this nothing to do to change your experience. Okay, I accept it. It's one and the same again here. Second is more powerful, love it. Okay, I love this, but it's still here and no change. But see it as erotic part.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this is like again conceptual to bring destination to this energy
Mm.
instead of to accept and love. Just okay, it is here, no destination.
Yeah.
But to play erratically, this wow, this to include it in some game to give it form or whatever.
Yeah. 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 I love the way you're speaking to that, like the power of eros, like connecting to the eros of our life experience. And this is what's often not spoken to by spiritual teachers, the loving ourselves and loving the parts, which is really important, but like is often spoken to and is sort of like, commonly understood in the sort of spiritual field. But the erotic dimensions often, only addressed sort of in more niche areas like tantra, but it's like so powerful. It's such a different, so transformative.
Yeah, this is like when you mention tantra, this is like to separate that eros is only for sex. If you someone hear the word the name tantra, eros is about sex, but non-duality to separate eros from the rest is
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's really and tantra is like it's pointing to this embrace of life. It's pointing to the like the uh like sort of the invitation that's here, like to really like enjoy all this, like to claim it all, to have it all, to be a full yes to this.
yeah, we can say all this is ours. So
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, it's all here for us.
and this sentence rests in beingness is now my experience is that this point something much more than dry resting like sitting on the chair or something. Oh, this is oh,
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it feels like to me, it feels like there's this sort of the energies have this sort of oscillation. Like, so there's sort of the life energy, the intensity, the vividness, and then it comes back to rest. Not and often that rest is what the sort of resting in being is pointing to. Which is non-dual teachers often point to that aspect. That like, oh, we just get to. There's no problem. We just get to rest here, and there's nothing we need to do. But it's like the erotic is pointing to like, oh, and we get to live and we get to feel the intensity. When that wave comes through, we get to enjoy it. And then it comes back to rest. And it's just like there's that constant movement that's available for us.
mm. Yeah, with resting, yeah, this is my understanding that resting is to sit on the chair, something absolutely nothing, just ground. But discovering that such just ground is not this, but so erotic, so alive, so real.
Mm. Yeah. And it's important to have the permission for the rest as well. Otherwise, it can be like, oh, I'm supposed to be feeling like bliss or intensity or pleasure or something. So that can then become like a goal that we're judging ourselves against, and we're striving, and we're resisting the rest, you know. So so allowing that full, like the flow into rest, and then the flow of aliveness, and like and allowing those movements to happen is like really important.
Yeah, maybe the key is here that this allows the wave, the energy to happen, to pass through us as not something dangerous or projection of
Yeah,
fear. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's not dangerous. There's space for all our feelings, but like even the most intense experience, we can be fully conscious there. We can be fully there for it. And seeing how pleasurable, like the connection to pleasure, to eros, allows for that full consciousness there with the intensity. Because it's like, because once we get that these energies are enjoyable and pleasurable, it's like, let's go all the way. Let's really feel it all the way down, rather than like, I'm trying to accept it, but okay, I've accepted enough of it. Like, no more. It's like, oh no, give me that. Oh, we're gonna feel terror. Let's really go there.
Wow.
We're gonna feel anger. Let's feel the rage. Let's feel the fire. You know, it's like,
Yeah, now is coming this. If someone is watching this video and is wondering, shall I do this? Shall I do this work?
mm, mm,
So everything that we are sharing here with Adam is just sharing what is going on. Well, let's call it the realization, the experience of what really is going on. So big yes to that.
mm, mm.
Follow and
Yeah, and maybe just to say as well, like that, it's so important to be really gentle with the places where we don't have the capacity to go there, or we feel the shame or the fear. You know, like, oh, I don't know about that. You know, like to be really like, to be so gentle with ourselves, and not sort of like become ashamed of our inhibitions, or ashamed of our shame. Like sort of make that wrong. Like just to be really like, oh yeah, like I'm not able to feel that yet. I'm not able to go there yet. Because there's always we're going to hit limits wherever we are along the road. There are going to be limits to what we're able to integrate, what we're able to experience. So just being really gentle with ourselves wherever we're at.
Yeah, with my work with you, I saw exactly this.
Mhm.
You're not pushing me, but I prefer to push me a little bit. I don't know why. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like to make invitations that are accessible to the people I'm working with. So it's meeting someone wherever they're at, and then like, okay, what's the accessible invitation for them? Yeah.
Mhm.
What's wanting to happen there?
Yeah, so this is like a game. The session with you is like gaming to allow yourself to play fully with Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Because when invitation is coming, it is real, and you can dismiss and go in this, or to accept it and to see what Adam is pointing. Because after our sessions or when we chat, I need, let's say, few days or week the words to land. When I read, I know that, yeah, this hit me, this resonate, but cannot enter.
Mm-hmm.
And slowly, slowly, aha, it's coming to the place where the invitation is pointing something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can take a while to integrate the realizations that happen in the work. When we have these like things that happen in the session, it's like, oh wow, like yeah, like how do I explore this in my life? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, in my life, in myself.
Mhm. Yeah.
And really to see, to realize how vast we are.
Hmm. Hmm. So full of possibility, so rich.
Yeah, and also this is happening by itself during my work with Adam. Adam, you never said, Lubo, look how vast you are, what you're afraid of. What vastness, I have such problems. and, and suddenly this is happening by itself. Not, yeah.
Mhm.
And when we see it already here, it's not big deal, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's,
It's like the
yeah.
direct realization. Yeah, the direct experience.
Yeah, this is important, direct experience, because it's not passing through concepts, questions, and
Right.
this directly. And so,
Yeah.
and I feel so held, or hold is right in English. Held from you.
Held. Yeah. Hmm.
During the sessions, during even when I write with Adam, and in the next day I feel the change, that
Hmm.
only sharing what is going on and giving it to the space, and it's, oh,
Yeah. So beautiful journeying with you. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. And it's very much about the direct experience, about what we discover as we do this work, like allowing ourselves to be curious and to actually, have these realizations happen for us, these discoveries. It's not about having a belief system or, taking on a belief system. It's really about the direct experience.
Yes, and you're so beautiful guides to
Mm,
that.
mm, mm, mm. Yeah, it's a great joy to accompany people in this. Yeah, so pleasurable.
Mm. Okay, I can add to this what someone needs for that. Simply trust Adam or someone else just to, okay, I trust this. I don't know why, but I trust, and just follow pointing, follow sessions, follow.
Mm,
Because in my story, my experience is so much resistance, so much.
mm,
And if there is not this trust to Adam, I can give up and okay.
mm, mm. Yeah, I mean the capacity to trust is really helpful. It's like a big advantage, but it's something that it makes sense to have discernment around, like who, like, am I going to trust just anyone? Because yeah, not yeah, I won't trust. I mean, I've trusted my teachers, the people who've like enabled me to have these powerful transformations and realizations. I've like very much given trust to them to allow that to happen. But I've also had discernment. There are some people I'm just like, oh yeah, no, I'm not going to trust that person. Yeah. So it's like yeah, it makes sense to have discernment for sure. Yeah. And I mean the other thing about the way that I'm teaching as well, the way that I'm supporting people is that I'm not asking people to take on an ideology, and I'm not telling them what they should experience. I'm really inviting people into a more intimate relationship with their own experience so that they get to have the realizations within themselves, to have the openings happen within themselves, so that, like, the way that they see their experience changes.
Yeah, in such a beautiful and playful way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's can be very enjoyable. Yeah, the work itself can be play.
Yeah, this sounds like beautiful invitation and pointer. So start with playfulness. Okay, I want to play with teacher, with Adam, with Lubu, with
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to play as authority and students. Okay, guide me. Let's see. Yeah, you also uh, share something like when we were uh, children, we play different roles, games, and you can see that this is also the game. Okay, I will give you money and you will teach me this and that I want to ask you. I will ask you, you rank me, we will play with me. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, to invite this playfulness and this,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, authority and not authority, just changing. And yeah, it's a beautiful game.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I think it's really good like that, like seeing how children just play with all the different parts. Like they're like so like, oh yeah, I'll be this, you be that. It's like they're so free there. It's so expansive. Not wedded to like, no, this is what I am. And denying all the rest of it. So that's really what the work is like reclaiming all those parts. It's like, no, I have a universe inside me. I could be anything. It's like really like realizing that how much possibility lives within us, like rather than having that rigid identity. I'm this, I'm this, I'm not that, I'm not that. Hmm. And when we know how big we are, then there's so much choice in how we actually show up in the moment. So free.
And exactly how the game is, there is no destination. The enjoyment is the game that is happening and the enjoyment that's happening in the game.
Totally, totally.
So to accept that there is no destination in this seeking,
Hmm.
just enjoying what is unfolding, what we are.
Mm. Yeah. Mm. Mm.
What else we can share? Hmm, about my work with Alan.
Yeah, it feels like this is also just what we're doing right now is just like resting. We're just resting in that openness, the possibility, and then we just see if a desire arises. I guess there's something else we want to share. There's no pressure. There's nowhere to get to.
And for me, this like searching for, is there more diamonds to discover and here it is, one I found. That, to find that everything is for us. And this is nothing to do with mind, fear projections.
Yeah, and also if there's some big piece that we forget, we can always make another video. Oh, we need to talk about this.
Wow, we'll make a new video about this. Okay, so we can stop here.
Yeah, feels complete. Yeah, for me. Mm-hmm.
So thank you to everyone that is watching this video and my sharing my work with Adam. And this can be gratitude and also driven by my desire to share, that to see what really is going on, that we are absolutely free,
Mm-hmm.
is absolutely reachable and easy, and it is nice.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just like having had the journeys we've had where we've, experienced so much expansion, so much, such a powerful transformation of how we're living and how we experience life. It's like there's just that natural desire of like, oh my God, like, we want to share it. We want to, yeah, people are, like so many people are suffering, and yeah, it's like unnecessarily, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Just sort of, yeah, like support people in also having those powerful openings, realizations, expansion. Mm.
Do you plan some retreats or?
I don't have any planned right now. There's nothing scheduled right
Okay, let's finish with this. Thank you, Adam. Thank you for
now.
everyone watching this.
Mhm.
Much love.
Yeah, thank you, Luvo. Yeah.
Mm. Okay.